Hey guys, this is Linkster and Jake here for the Houston Outlaws doing our press conference.
Jake, this one's for you. Why did Jake change his jersey number?
Personally, I was 66 last season, and I kind of always felt like it was a missed opportunity. Like I kind of just regretted not being 76 because I always loved playing Soldier. He's like my favorite character since I got the game, pretty much. So I just thought it would be funny and cool to be the Soldier 76 of the Overwatch League.
If you had to fight any Overwatch character IRL, who would you fight?
I mean, there's an easy answer to this question, but it's kind of f***ed up. Like, it feels wrong to say this, but
Who would you fight?
it's got to be D.Va. She's like a little girl. Like, I mean, like, let's be honest. Like, it's not fair. Like,
Okay, so like.
well, it depends if she's got a mech, though. That's
like,
the thing, right? Is she in a suit? Like,
I would take Hammond because
Just like
yeah, see, that's
that's f***ed up.
Yeah.
No animal abuse.
yeah.
The ASPCA is watching.
But D.Va and Hammond, basically.
Yeah, a Hammond's probably easier. Probably, I mean, a little girl is stronger than a hamster.
It's an intelligent hamster, though. I don't
That's
think
true. It depends if you count the suits, you know.
Yeah.
If you didn't count suits, would you have a different answer? Like, or like if you assume that they'd be in a suit. So I would not want to fight D.Va in her mech. That would be no, she would f you up.
You know.
Hardcore. So if you
Okay.
count like the whole character as you spawn in,
Okay.
there's definitely I know the worst answer. It's Winston.
Yeah.
We're absolute worst answer is
Yeah,
Winston.
that's true. He would change you down.
Maybe Roadhog would be pretty bad too.
Yeah, I was thinking about the hook. He would just die.
I think you could probably fight Junkrat, like break his arm off or something, and like unplug it. You know, you just can't walk.
That's true.
Junkrat would probably be pretty weak in just a
Yeah, in
brawl.
like a 1v1 fight, Junkrat seems like
He'd
he's
be pretty
yeah.
vulnerable.
Not in game though. No, you don't want to 1v1 Junkrat in game.
He's a strong character.
Yeah.
What aspect of GOAT's meta do you wish viewers understood more when they watch it?
What aspect?
I have a thing for this. I mean, I think it actually is just as simple as understanding the importance of Zarya in the composition. Like, I think a lot of people just look at GOATs and they say, lots of tanks, lots of supports, nobody dies, right? Like that and it's correct in a like a broad overview sense. But Zarya is the one character that's like an exception to this. Like, part of what GOATs does is just keep your Zarya at 100 energy for like the whole game, and she never stops being 100 energy. And 100 energy Zarya is like the strongest character in the game by far. So the GOAT's composition is really about building around Zarya and to a lesser extent Zenyatta. But Zarya is like really the superstar of the composition. From her damage dealing to also like her bubble usage. Like if one team uses both bubbles, that's a major investment. And the other team, if they're not forced to do anything, they'll immediately run back in with their own bubbles because that cooldown is just so crucial for this meta.
Like it's bubble is only one of the only abilities that blocks
Stuns.
Discord without like being able to
cleanses
damage.
Discord.
Yeah, like you can damage while you have a bubble without being Discord. That's a big. I think for me overall, it's Jake brought up the importance of Zarya, and for me it's like all the characters in the comp are important. You know, like the Zarya is the highlight of the comp with her abilities, but like everything down to like crab combos. That like every person has a big part in, or like a part at least a part in whatever play is about to happen. And I think Zarya leads the charge most of the time, but you know, making sure discords are right, boobs, you know, you see the importance as highlights, but there's a lot of small things that go into, you know, setting up a good D.Va pom or setting up a good shatter or stuff like that.
Do you think Symmetra and Torb will ever be played in the same time in Overwatch League?
I
At
doubt.
the same time, I think with the new kit, it actually makes no sense at all because now the characters are very different.
Yeah.
Whereas in the olden days where you had Molten Core and like Shield Gen, it made a lot more sense to play Sim and Torb together because if you somehow managed to win the first fight, you actually did have a pretty scary defense. Molten Core used to be a really strong ability. But now the characters just do a very different style of gameplay.
Yeah.
Like Torb wants to have these like weird fights that last a super long time so his turret gets value. But Symmetra, I mean, if you're picking Symmetra, you have to have a strategy of revolving around the teleport, or else you're just not getting value out of that character. She's just too weak at her fundamental ability to deal damage, and too weak at defending the type of points that Torb wants to defend.
That's true.
What are the advantages of Sombra GOATs versus normal GOATs?
I think personally, I think EMP. Like it's a playstyle difference. You know, changing the D.Va to Sombra just it shuffles the priorities of the ultimates that are gonna be used. and a team might be weaker to Sombra goats. It doesn't necessarily mean it's stronger or better. It's a playstyle thing, and it's sometimes good to like mess up with the opponents, how they use the ultimates. You know, it forces mistakes basically.
And I think to us, or for us at least, it also like plays to our strengths. 'Cause I think Dante is like, in my opinion, the best Sombra in the league. So being able to like put, I mean, he had like the highest DPM last season on Sombra.
Yeah.
He has like insane Sombra stats. I mean,
Even
he's always been a monster on the character. Like he's always like throughout all I can remember in Overwatch, I hated playing against Dante because he would always own me on Sombra. So I think like maybe for us specifically, it's a comp that we're especially good on just because Dante's gonna find not just the EMP and not just the quick farm, but he's going to find that hack that somebody else doesn't find, or find the value that someone else doesn't find because they're not as experienced on the character. So I think for us, it maybe plays to our strengths especially well.
Yeah.
But it's still a limited comp. You know, there's certain maps where you just need D.Va. Like, she's just too effective.
What are the biggest challenges coming back from a map loss?
Today we came back from a map loss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like overall the mentality is important. I think we've been strong on that. Some of the maps, you know, like I personally think we improved in the past 2 days between the first match and this match, but sometimes you experience a situation that you have never experienced before. You know, you improved, you got to the point, you know, where you're about to win, but then you see a situation that has never happened before in the scrims because we never got basically that far. So sometimes what just happens is that you don't know what to do. Like, you might play too safe, you might play too risky, but it's early, right? So part of me is still like, this is the best scrims possible basically. So any mistakes we did in the matches we had this week, we learned from them definitely in the 2 days, and now we can learn from the mistakes we did today, and you know.
Yeah, I feel like it's a big difference between losing a game and then losing the next game and feeling like, or like losing a map and feeling like you just don't know what happened, and losing a map and feeling like, okay, we made some errors, but like they're like defined errors. I think when you're in that second scenario, you feel a lot better because as a player, it's like a lot more clear. It's not just like, I need to play better. That's a terrible feeling to have really as a player because it's so, there's no way to like approach that. It's like, what, I mean, we practice a lot, like practice more, I guess, but it doesn't, there's no like satisfying solution. But when we can like drill down and when we're making different errors in each game, then that just means that as you solve those, you're actually getting this like breadth of knowledge where we're not just getting better at like not making those mistakes, we're getting better at the whole comp and having a deeper understanding and more ability to make plays as things break down in different ways, right? Like there's always these weird fights where one team loses Brig, the other team loses Zen, or loses Lucio, or you know, something. And those fights are really, really unique because you don't see them very much in scrims, like that unique combination of you lost that and they lost this. So there's a ton of like on the fly plays and like strategic choices that you kind of need to see and talk about as a group and then improve on.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. It was Linkshire and Jake, as you know, and next one is WSM, right?
Let's go.
Let's go.
That.
Thank you for watching. Bye bye.